start to record now.
So, hi, Michael.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Morning.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm a little tired. I was up until late assembling IKEA furniture.
Oh, God. Yeah. I remember those days. Wow.
You know that how that goes.
Oh, yeah. Like 6 hours later, you realize when you finished it, you've still got a piece left. There's like a screw or
not
something.
Not just one, many.
So annoying, isn't it? Blimey. Michael, share a little bit about since last week, anything happening with your symbol? Do you remember your symbol?
I did remember my symbol, but I got a new symbol that that I've kind of, I'm not saying forgotten about, but not really honored the way I needed to. And I think you know what the symbol is.
Do I? Your lingam? Your crystal
Right.
lingam?
Sorry, I should have put it this way. No, it's a crystal that came to me visually in an ayahuasca journey, and then I found it after looking for it for about 3 years all over the planet. I found it in a crystal shop in Mount Shasta.
Wow, amazing. Let's have a look at it again. Show everyone your crystal lingam.
Oh, wait.
That's it, very beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous.
It is.
And welcome, Kirsty. How are you, Kirsty?
I just woke up.
Are you in Vancouver too?
Now, Michael's just woken up as well. Yeah.
We woke up together, actually.
How nice. You woke up together. That's beautiful. And TT's here as well. Hi, T. You okay? You can do mime language.
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Very good.
Good, good.
Very good. So, TT, tell me what's happened since. What symbol did you work on last week?
Procrastination.
And any connections over the last week?
I kind of tried to visualize it a little bit more during my sunrise meditations, just to kind of feel into it a bit more, to see how it felt in my body and stuff. But yeah, I've not procrastinated this week, which is good. Oh,
okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. And how about Kirsty? Did you? How's your couple of weeks been?
Yeah, good. I've been in Brighton for, I don't know, a week or something. I've been very busy. I was helping Eva doing the garden, and then I went to a wedding. Now I'm puppy sitting in Brighton. This lovely house. If you can see, I'm in the tea room. I don't know where Harry is. He's supposed to come on school. Harry's not well, by the way, so I've been looking after him a bit. Don't know what it is. Not good.
Oh.
He can't talk.
Oh, bless him.
I didn't look for him in a minute because he said he was coming.
Oh, he's probably maybe just getting ready.
Yeah, I'm going to go get my notebook anyway.
Okay.
One sec.
Cool. And any big news for anyone? Any success, like one success in the last week, would you say? You want to share one, if you can think of any anyway, if there's like one thing that you feel like that was a success for me this week? because it's always nice to share a success if there is one. Nina's already shared a lovely thing, haven't you, Nina? And she's a lot more connected to her son.
Yes.
And he wants to, yeah, go on. You got.
He
just to-
doesn't want to go back to school because he wants to spend time with me. We are having lots of cuddles, lots of time together, watching movie, eating, and going for a walk. Yesterday we went for a trip, and he kept coming and giving me kiss on my forehead, which was beautiful and so nice feeling as well. So yeah, it was a big change because I know last journey we did, like we were having some issues between each other, and reminding me of his father and behavior I was like kind of pushing him away. But working with the journey last week, I could see that he was getting closer again. So myself, like my feeling for him, towards him was getting softer and softer and more loving. So
Yeah,
we
fabulous.
had a great time. Yeah, and they're screaming and fighting. There's a war, so I have to leave for a minute.
Yeah, sure. Lovely. Very good, Nina. Nice to hear. Anything for you, TT?
What, as in like directly related to the Frido journey?
No. Anything that you think that was a success in the last week for you?
Yeah, I'm booked to play at the O2 tomorrow, one of my shows. So that's a massive success, which I'm absolutely thrilled about and looking forward to. So yeah,
Fabulous.
It's a huge win.
That's a big one.
Yeah, massive. Yeah, so it's been a great week.
Amazing. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nadine, you got anything for us?
Let's think. The last Frido training, I worked on pain, and it wasn't really a success because this week I also had quite a lot of pain. Like I had really bad headache last night. Like it started last evening and then went through the whole night, so it was really bad. But I had a realization because the week before I worked with communication, and I just realized, actually my body is communicating with me. And then last night I realized I think I was really dehydrated, because then I suddenly got very thirsty and I drank loads of water, and then it went away and I woke up without headache, and I was just reminded that I should listen more to my body and like what my body tries to communicate to me. So yeah, I just realized that.
Cool. Yeah, so that's quite an interesting observation. Sometimes I notice a lot with when I'm working on a symbol, like anger or anything, money, suddenly I can have a really bad luck. Like I can suddenly lose a lot of money, and I've been working on money that week. Or, I'm working with anger and I get something just triggers me. So it kind of sometimes brings it into our life, and it's not whether it's positive or negative, it's just bringing it into our life so we can study it a little bit. That's the point of it. So it's not like we're working on it and it's all going to be wonderful. We could work on it and it could actually come out quite negative. So just to be aware of that as well, that's a good sign. It's like a healing crisis, isn't it? When we're healing, sometimes things get worse before they get better. So I notice that a lot. So never be disheartened if you're working on a symbol and it comes out a bit negative. It's really good, because we've got to go through it to learn. Oh, that's cool. And we've got Natalia as well here. Thanks, Nadine. And Natalia is here as well somewhere.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm a little late. Don't want to disturb. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, we're all good. All living the dream. All very, very good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, things are going well. Just getting through all the stuff I need to get done slowly.
Do you remember what you were working on a couple of weeks ago?
Do you know what? I was just trying to remember, and I just thought this is useless. You're gonna be angry at me. I forgot, but I know what I've been working before.
Go on then.
Well, the healing.
I wrote it down, Natalia. It was expression. expression.
Expression. Oh wow, guys, you have no idea. you have no idea. Sorry, I'm not sharing my video. I'm just gonna share it. It was a lot of going on about expression for me. And it was my anger management actually, because there was a few people that were kind of like annoying me or taking me for granted in some ways, and I have just I watched in the meantime Vladimir Putin doing an interview and I don't know what to think of Vladimir Putin, but I have to say he's just incredible in art of conversation, how he's expressing the things he needs to express, either setting boundaries or commenting on how he sees what is going on, or just confronting the person he's talking to. And his way of expression is absolutely pure. Like there is no ego, there is no offense. He doesn't take offense. He's just communicating so clearly and expressing. And I was just so inspired that I started, like I used to have a saying, I used to have a thought that there is a saying, what would Jesus do when you have a problem or you don't know what to do with someone? And I add to it, and what would Putin say now? Because I just started exploring expression when I had to confront things with other people, whenever I would disagree or whenever I would just have to draw the line. But it was an amazing experience to see how much the anger goes down, how it just dissolves when it is being expressed in the right way. Where if I would express it in the wrong way, emotional or with the feeling of being offended, it would just go the other way. It would just probably end up really badly. So that was probably something that was a real change after that. But it's all to do with the expression, because sometimes I don't feel like there is a need to say something or set the boundaries, because I can deal with it in any other way. But just the fact that I have to express it, otherwise if I don't express it, it's going to be stuck inside, and it's going to be doing a lot of possibly even damage inside of me, or it's going to block me somehow because I won't be able to focus on something else, or I will just feel like I'm being misunderstood, and it will bite me in the ass in some other situation where if I would make myself well understood, that situation maybe would never really happen. So that was big learning for me this week.
That's great, amazing. That's why it's good to remember your symbols. Because
Yes.
that was great, because you've remembered it and you've reaffirmed it, and probably just by sharing it is probably quite transformational, just sharing that experience. That's really cool. Yeah. And it's like, expression. And like it reminded me when you were here on the boats on the retreat, and Bob was here, and he was telling you to confront the room.
Yes.
It was a very weird kind of experience, but yeah.
It would probably be a weird thing, but I know, like, it's very difficult to explain what he meant, and I know exactly what he meant. It was very transformational for me, because he said also make yourself comfortable, because I didn't understand what he meant to confront the room, and he said make yourself comfortable. And that was the moment when I realized I heard many times many different kind of descriptions of that state you need to get in: be present, be open, be in flow. But that wasn't my word. My word was comfortable, because I could kind of achieve the other beats, but the comfortable thing was missing.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with expression as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I remembered when you were talking to me about expression. And also, like when Bob said to you, like he looked at you and he said, "I hate you."
Did he?
And, yeah. He might have said it to me. But no, he was trying to share that you can just say something like, you know, I hate you, and be there with it, you know, with no funny intention or anything weird, just like, and say it nicely as well. So I don't like you, you know, or you make me, you're pissing me off. And you can say, you can be comfortable while you say it. It's not like, oh, you piss me off. It's like, you piss me off, and feel comfortable while you're saying it. Yeah.
Yeah. And also like being comfortable with the fact that it is annoying, but also being comfortable with it by letting it go and speaking out loud about it. And and not feeling, just being comfortable with it, I guess.
Yeah. And I would say, I'll call it advanced. It might not be the right word, but for me and for myself, an advanced level of that would be not to even need to say anything, but for the feeling inside of me to just be there, like not hiding it. I'm not resisting it either. You know, I'm feeling angry, or I'm feeling love, or I'm feeling happiness, and I don't need to act it out. I could just embrace it in my own body and be comfortable with those sensations in the body.
I think I kind of got there, but then it all depends on whether it depends on the situation. If I'm in the situation when I'm like, okay, right, I'm not gonna reach that person, there's just no point. Why should I waste my time? I don't have to get annoyed at this. I can just let it go, and it's not really even my problem. So I can distance myself to it. But if it is a relationship ongoing with someone and it's something I need to clarify, otherwise it might have a bad consequences.
Maybe. Like I said, it's just my personal experience. It's like if I've had an argument with I don't know, like my ex-partner, and I've gone out for the day, and I've now processed the feelings.
Yeah.
When we talk again later, we both apologize. We kind of both, somehow we've communicated to each other without speaking, just by giving that space. So my feeling is if we can do that in the presence of someone, and you can just communicate to that person without even saying, I mean, I would say it's very advanced to do that in front of someone. Anyway, that's my bit of sharing. Thank you for that. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
And who else? Have we spoken to everyone? Kirsty, did we speak to you?
What are you talking about? You asked me how I am.
Oh, that's fine. And Harry, because you went off to see him.
Harry's not well. He's in the cabin. He's trying to get better. He can't speak, so he doesn't really want to come.
Oh, bless him. Okay, we'll send him our love. Okay, so it brings us on to the card for today. And just before I show the card, just so you know, we've got a new thing on the website. I've sent it on the group. Nadine's now set it all up very nicely, and you can go onto it, and you can pick any card, and when you click it, it opens up the Zoom video. You can choose for that card that we had. You can choose the to print out the template, you know, like the journey templates that I use. So they're all in there as well. If you're working on yourself, or you want to do it on someone else, you want to print out that. You can print out the card, you know, itself as well. There's a print thing on it that prints the card out. There's the test is on it, the test information. It's all there. So we're a bit like a library. So if you've missed any, you can always go onto that and re-look at the Zoom videos or whatever. There's also the journey itself on there, a link to the journey. So if you want to practice the actual journey on yourself or with others, you can click that and it goes straight to the actual journey where I guide you through it. So it's really useful, and we're kind of we're ahead of ourselves now. So check it out. It's quite cool. But today's journey, the card is this one. So emotion. So if emotion is something that interests you, then this would definitely be something for you. If you feel like, you know, emotions are powerful, if you feel like sometimes my emotions are against me, like they go against me, they pull me back, or like fear, for example, or they take you off of your path. So we'll go round first, and then I'll add a bit in if there's anything missed at the end. But maybe we'll start off. Nadine, if you want to share anything about this card, and then we'll just go round and add things to it.
Mhm.
I think Michael, I need Michael. Has
He
Michael,
did it. Yeah.
has he
That's
got it?
great.
Has Michael done
Yeah.
it? Can,
Yeah.
can everyone see Michael's the card? Or do you need me to hold it up? And if you've got cards, Magic, we're sending your cards to you this week. So you'll have your own cards, which would be cool. Okay, so what do you see? So, yeah, Nadine?
Yeah, I see a person walking on a path on a rainbow path. It's like in the rainbow colors. I see water around the path, and in the back I see a big wave, I guess. And on the left side there's it looks like a heart shape, and it's burning. On the back it looks like a little island where a box or suitcase is on it. So yeah, I mean, it's when I with the emotion, I think it's like, yeah, there are these like fiery emotions like anger and aggression, and yeah, I mean, I can really relate to that card. Okay.
Okay, so pass it on. Maybe TT?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like a little bit of a battle between all of the emotions that are kind of at the fore on the heart island, and then on the other one, all of the kind of stuff we kind of look away, it feels a bit like. And it's the first time actually, because I've seen this card quite a few times, but on the right, on his right leg, it almost looks like an eye. So obviously, because I'm Buddhist, so in that you kind of, it feels like it's kind of moved from this third eye chakra all the way down, because obviously there's that movement of emotions and how to process them physically. And then I can see the little numbers on the what looks like a walking stick. And I quite like that the path isn't ending. I like that, because it's like where you can choose where it goes or whatever. And I like that it's all separated from the little islands. Yeah, that's me.
Nice, lovely. And I've stuck it up on my screensaver if anyone likes that. Okay, so how about Kirsty?
Yeah, there's someone walking on a rainbow path, and there's, it looks like some water, and there's a burning fire, and then on another island there's a box, and I'm thinking about the elements. Like, I know mine is air, my mum is water, I think my brother's fire. They say we've got a hidden, if it's linked to emotions, but that we've got a hidden element. I think my hidden one was fire, which I was experiencing a lot. Fire, and maybe that box is the secret of how to deal with the. I think we will find some kind of emotion more difficult. Like my anger, I find it really difficult. So I think that's the hidden box. It's the secret of dealing with our emotion.
That's nice, thank you. Thank you. And who else? Who else we got? Magic.
So what else can I add? Yeah, the walking stick is some kind of support, I guess. And yeah, so still Frido have his backpack with symbols. And the colors, I think, have some kind of meaning. It's more, I think the main color is green. And so the colors probably have symbolized some kind of different spectrums of emotions. And the first thing which I can see is the fire. So it can be anger or also love because it's on the heart. The box is like farther away even than this fire, so maybe it's like an answer, hidden answer. And the wave, it's completely in the background. So I must say, for me, it could symbolize something which is coming very quickly, and it's very hard to grasp, to stop it. Yes. What else? Yeah, I'm not sure if this everything is on water. Looks like this is water, but for me, it's because the path is going like a little bit up, so it's a little bit like a challenge, and the walking stick is there, so obviously it's not so easy to walk this path. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you. And Michael?
What comes through for me in addition to that is that the patches on the suit are gone or less, which could mean that healing is possible if we involve our emotions. I see the wave as a energy. Well, emotion is energy in motion. So there is the wave, there is the burning heart, and then there's the stillness of the box, which all kind of work together in a healing process. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. And so I've lost track of who's next. Do you want to put your hand up who hasn't gone? I'll see everyone. Okay, go on then. Whoever's put their hand up. Is it Natalia?
Okay, thanks. So one of the things I noticed on this card is actually the way he's walking is not just upwards, it's up and down, which is how emotions are. And maybe because of that movement, the emotions allow anything to move. It's like they put anything into motion. So they make things happen. So sometimes it would be anger, sometimes it would be sadness. They make us just make some decisions or react in a certain way. The burning the burning heart for me is like a burning desire, and there is a price. He is going towards the box. I don't know what is in the box, but I think it's something that he wants, and that might be related to the heart on fire. But also there's a lot of going on around, and there is a lot of movement because of the emotions. Because if there was no emotions, he wouldn't need to go to walk that path to get anything, because he wouldn't feel the meaning for anything. Also, I noticed that there is an eye on the back of his trousers, and that eye is looking backwards, which shows some anxiety and fear. So probably, you know, his eyes are looking at the box, but also he's got an eye on the back to make sure he's safe. So there's a lot of emotions involved in this one picture. I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Natalia. And Nina?
Yes, Gary, for me here, like, to be honest, like when I look at this card, I see that the card itself, like, it's kind of like in a circle of very dark, dark clouds. And then inside, I would say like Fredo himself, using the stick doesn't mean because he became old, but because he has gone through lots of different traumas. Because I can't see anything happy or colorful here, but the colorful things is like his heart is on fire, his brain is like with that stormy wave there, and then the box which on that island there is kind of like where his answer is, but again he's on a broken bridge, because I can see there's no ending there. And if down is water, so it's a broken bridge, and he's also has that eyes on his leg at the back there, means that he has been through a lot, and with experience and time, he kind of like feel that even he's working forward in his life, he still has to keep an eye at the back to see who is working behind him, because maybe he has been stabbed a lot in his past. So that's why we always, when we move forward, we have to keep an eye at the back as well, who we are dragging with us. And again, as a broken bridge, maybe he's kind of like giving up, because again, like with the stick, is not like because he's old, it's because of all his experience. He feel like he's weak and tumbling, so he need that stick to support himself. And I can see that the triangle is different colors. I think it's orange, and it's a different card. It's number 2, and it's separate from what we did. It's not a body, parents or family, and then the gray triangle up there. So it's kind of like, it looked like that his life is, that the dark cloud is eating all that pictures that is there. It's like going, like it's closing. The more the cloud will keep closing, it's like it'd be over. So maybe it's, yeah, lots of emotions, lots of traumas. We need to get through it. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Nina. Very jolly, a jolly reading.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. Yeah, they're all beautiful messages. It's amazing, isn't it, how many stories we can see in just one image. So in Fredo, the yellow box represents the shadow. So someone could look at that as a gift, or something, or not a gift, but that in Fredo, that's the shadow in there. And then we've got all the emotions around us. We don't know what's in front of us because you can't see where the path ends. So that's like our future. It's like we can't quite see, maybe because it's eternal. Perhaps it's never ending. It's a never ending path. And behind us, it's like we can see what's behind us because we've been through it. You can't always see what's in front, but we can certainly see what's behind us. So they're the things we usually can see in our life. We're seeing our past as we're moving forward, and this and the emotions around us could be distracting us sometimes off our path. So it's like we're walking our path, and how many times does an emotion take us off of our path, or pull us back and make it harder to walk forward? Like maybe something in our past, like we're scared about, like fear, or regret, or resentment, or these kind of energies might be holding us back. Even love or something joyous could hold us back because we think, oh my God, I want to be back there, when I was 18, or I want to be with that when I had that relationship, and those things, positive and negative emotions, can hold us back from where we're going. So that's very powerful. The emotions also, they can stop us going forward, because if you think the devil is in that box, you might not want to go forward. You might not want to be walking towards it. So this can stop us. Our shadows can stop us walking our path, and we end up going on another path or staying where we are, things like this. So even love, like the Love Island over there, that can distract us sometimes. As lovely as love can be, it can also be a distraction sometimes, you know, from that different viewpoint. On the other hand, emotions can also help us, of course, can't they? So sometimes fear behind us can make us move forward, because we don't want to go back there again. You know, I don't want that relationship. I want a new one. So I want to walk as far away from that as possible. Or there might be some love in the future. You think, I want to go there as fast as I can. So emotions can be kind of good and bad, depending on what they do and how we react to them. And it's just like, I'm going to turn it off for a sec, because this screen thing, it's a bit annoying now. Come back. Let's just turn that off. So the emotions, yeah, it's just like incredible, powerful, so powerful, and so influential in our life. I mean, I'll probably say that for me, they're the most influential things in my life. It's like I've gone through businesses where I've had stresses and problems and different relationship issues. It's like none of those problems actually a big deal, because they just need you just need to sort them out. What's a big deal is the emotions that come with them. It's like how, you know, the emotions that get triggered, and that's what gives us the problems when we're trying to deal with an issue, and we're feeling all kind of different emotions are coming up, and they're stopping, blocking us, blah, blah, blah. So for me, this is the most amazing family. I love this family, the emotion family. This is the parent of the emotion family. The children is, who knows the children? Anyone? No? Okay. So we got the children is the past and the future. So the past and the future. And you could say this is the present. If you like, this card is also known as the present card, because you're not in the past and you're not in the future. The past behind you, the future's in front of you. Therefore, you're in the present. And that's where all the emotions are coming through us. And the amazing thing about this card is the emotions this is all from Frido point of view. The emotion being an energy is not exactly physical. Obviously, there's a physical element to it, because we wouldn't be able to maybe feel it or sense it. But let's say it's not exactly physical, it's more energetic. Therefore, it's not trapped in our body, meaning we can still feel emotions from our past, and we can feel emotions in our future. If you think of something nice that you're looking forward to in the future, then you'll feel it. How can you possibly feel it if the emotions aren't there? They're not existing. So we must be able to feel it. And before we get too spiritual and start saying there's no future and no past, I would probably, in our reality we live in, I'd probably say there's no present. I'll probably say there's only a past and a future, because we're always going forward. Every second we're moving forward. As soon as we think we're here, it's gone, it's the past. And the future is always ahead of us, the next thing that we do. Every breath, past and future, we're simultaneously going from the past to the future. In many ways, there's no present, which is a bizarre idea for a spiritual perspective. Because in a spiritual perspective, of course, they don't exist. Nothing exists. No past or present. It's all mingled together. And I would say that as well. The emotions exist in Frido. They exist in the past. They exist in the future. And they exist because they're going through our body all the time. You know, as soon as we're thinking of the past, we're feeling the past, all the emotions. When we're thinking of the future, we're feeling the emotions. So actually the emotions are constantly from the past and the future traveling through our body. If you like, from a very spiritual point of view, and we could say, well, we are the past, we are the present, and we are the future. We're experiencing it all right now in our body. But on another reality, you know, we want to be able to separate them as well. We live in a separate universe, so we're not yet living in a totally spiritual universe. So we live in a world of separation, and freedom is to really understand this separation. And it's not to say, oh, there's no separation, because that's just purely from a spiritual viewpoint in many ways. But in this physical realm, where everything's separate, and it's amazing. It's like my two arms are separate, but they work together. I don't want to think they're one. You know, I'll only have one arm then. So I like having two arms and two legs and different things. So that's what gives us our experience, having separation. And also separation gives us different viewpoint of things. And that's what freedom is all about. It's about seeing all the viewpoints. And freedom in this reality is be able to be free to look at every viewpoint and to be able to experience, if you want to, any viewpoint you want, because they all exist. But this is a beautiful card, and it's one that, for me, it's probably more, for me, it's more unknown than the spiritual universe. When people come to me with some coaching with an issue, they've read books, they're very spiritual, you know, they get all this. And it's like, I say, what's your problem then? They say, oh, I'm just anxious all the time, or I've got fear. And I say, that's amazing, isn't it? It's like they're good with everything else. They might be very fit in their body. They might have their life sorted out. But, you know, the biggest problem is their emotions. They've got fear or something. And then I ask a simple question. And I ask them, well, what is fear? What is fear? And most of my clients who I ask that question to, they look at me a little bit blank, like, why am I asking that stupid question? Of course, they know what it is. I say, well, tell me. And they can't tell me a lot. They say, well, I've read a book on it. I've read Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, or a few other books. And I've experienced it a lot, sure. But that doesn't mean they can explain what it is. Because we think we know something because we experience it a lot. But that doesn't mean we know what it is. Same as love. We might have experienced love many times, but what is love? And a lot of people will be a bit blank. It's like, well, I've read books on it. People talk about it all the time. I can see it in some people, like there's love or there's love, but try and explain actually what it is. And it's like, if you can imagine a car driving along, and the car represents the emotions. And it's like, I can see it's a car. I know it's a car. I know it can drive. I can experience it. But I might not know exactly what it is. Like, what is it? It's got an engine. Yeah, I kind of know that. But what is it? What is it? What all the different parts of the engine? How do they work? Have you ever seen those parts? So emotions for me is a bit the same. It's like there's a mechanics to them. And this is what I found most exciting. I suddenly started to explore that there's a mechanical explanation from Frido's viewpoint, what emotions are. And some people would say to me, well, I can't control my emotions. So if you look at something like the sea, and you're surfing on the sea, and there's all the currents, and all the currents represent the emotions, fear, love, anxiety, depression, all the currents. And it's like, if you don't know what the currents are, or don't understand they're even there, or you might feel them, sure, when you get pushed over, but you don't actually know what they are exactly. But someone who's a professional surfer understands the currents because he's experienced them and learnt about them, how they move, how they work, and how that surfer can work with them. So like the emotions, we can't control the currents, we can't control the emotions, but we can learn to work with them. And that's the big difference. It's like we're not controlling our emotions, but we're learning to work with them. We're learning to use them. I would say use them, but this isn't controlling them, because anger, all anger wants to be is angry. It doesn't want to be anything else. It can't be anything else. It's just angry. It doesn't care how we express that anger, what we do with it. It just wants to be angry. and to be used in fact. So when we feel angry, we need to use it. You know, when we suppress it, we all know when we suppress an emotion, that's the worst thing we can do, because it's gonna end up imploding, or do all weird shit. I've seen people who have suppressed anger to such an extent they've attracted relationships that are angry relationships, or their partner's a bully or an abuser. And it's like, that's so interesting, because I can see they've suppressed anger so much, because I've known them for years, and now they've suppressed it so much, suddenly it's popped out of them and it's come at them through someone else. And I've seen this a lot. So in Frido, it's like, no, definitely don't suppress emotions. Learn to use them. Often because we have a bad experience with emotion, you might have got really angry once and beat the shit out of somebody or done something stupid, and therefore you don't want to be angry ever again. Or you felt fear once before and it was a bad experience, or depression. And then I don't want to feel like that again. And we suddenly don't want to go there. We've been traumatized by that feeling. And that's the worst thing we can do. As we all know, it's just a downward spiral. The more we try and hide it, take drugs for it, you know, alcohol, go on, even ayahuasca trips, you know, if we're doing it for that reason, to actually hide that, it's going to be a downward spiral. If we do those things to enhance and actually study and learn about those emotions, then that's the way forward. So this is an amazing thing. Like if you took your, I think Tiffany remembers this because it was ridiculous, in Fuerteventura in one of our retreats. And I think, well, she was there and we did the emotional journey. It was a few years ago now. And I was trying to get people to understand a concept. And I said, if you took your head off of your body and threw it away, how would your body be with, let's say, anger? What would it do if it feels angry? Or what would it do if it feels anxious? Or what would it do if it felt love? And it was a bit of a challenge because, you know, people just couldn't take their head away. They couldn't get their head separated from their body. So if you think about it, does anyone know what, say anger, let's say anger, if you didn't have a head, how would your body be? What would it do if anger was inside it? Anyone know? Hand up, anyone? I can't see everyone on the screen, so maybe just come onto the screen. Anyone? I'm waiting for hands. Have we got one? I can't see.
Yeah.
Okay, Magic, go on. So you haven't got a head and your body has got the emotion of anger inside it now. What's your body what's it doing?
I think it will be like a shaking. The hands will be moving and will be very intense, like stressed, you know, contracted, something like that, I can imagine. Maybe
it will, but maybe it won't. How do you know? What makes you think it would do that?
I think maybe because of some kind of programming which I'm carrying with me. Yeah, so this, I think I will behave like that, or I saw people behaving in this way.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I would probably say your explanation of the body may be going a bit tense or tight or contracting. I would probably say, yeah, I'll probably agree on that. I don't think it's the advanced stage of emotion in the body, but I think it's an advanced level. If we can start to understand that point, that's the way forward. What I would say is an advanced level of Frido's point of view. If your body felt anger without a head, it wouldn't do anything. It would just feel the energy. It wouldn't respond to it. It wouldn't react to it. It would just experience it. It wouldn't control the body to contract. Why would the energy of anger force the body to contract? That's because we experience it like that. So we think that's what our body does. So I would say that's a level of understanding with the emotion in the body. I would say an advanced level is you just experience the vibration of the anger. It doesn't force your body to do anything. You can just allow your body to experience it without reaction. So it's a bit weird. It sounds a bit weird maybe, but go with me on this. But the first stage is definitely looking at the body, how you explain first of all, and that's probably your body would contract. And I'll probably agree to you. I would agree on that. It would contract. That's what the body's doing with anger. The body's not jumping up and beating the shit out of someone, is it? Without your head. You know, it's not going to go and jump up. I mean, it might do, but I doubt it. This is the challenge for us, because if you think it's going to jump up and down, that's your head maybe speaking. I'll challenge you to have a think about, is that your body or is that your head now speaking? Is that your mind saying that? Because we don't know. We haven't tested it. Okay, so that's cool. So this is what we're talking about now in this card, is to understand the emotion. And imagine fear has got hold of you from your past, and it's grabbed you and you can't move forward, because in Frido, that's actually what's happening. When we can't speak, or we through fear, or we can't do something because we feel the fear there, on an energetic, a physical level, I would say even, imagine a physical being is actually holding you. It's grabbing your throat so you can't talk, your voice box, it's squeezing it together, because that's kind of what's happening, and it's real. And the problem is, because we don't recognize that's happening, we're defenseless. We can't do anything about it because we don't know what's happening. If we don't know what's holding us, we can't release ourselves from it. We think we're trapped because we've got no idea what's doing it. As soon as we know what's doing it, we're halfway to actually being able to do something about it. So, and the same with love or anything. These emotions, if there's a big difference between, are they making us do something versus are we using them to do something with? So there's the big difference. That's the big learning in this card. Can we actually use all our emotions, use them however we want to use them? If I want to use anger to scream at somebody, that's great, I'll use it. If I want to use love to scream at someone, I can use that as well. So that comment I just made is turning a little viewpoint on its head right now, because the majority of people would say anger is bad, it's used for screaming and shouting. I'll say, what if you could use anger to love someone, to stroke them gently? Yeah, so it's tipping our viewpoint a bit around it. It's like saying, what do you mean? How can you can't use anger to do that? And what happens if I said you could use love to punch somebody? In Aikido, they use the sword, and the sword represents love. And when they cut through something or somebody, hopefully not through somebody, but they're cutting through them with this sword of love. And sometimes it can be painful, very painful. You know, sometimes tough love, you've heard of that, right? So when you love somebody, sometimes the action, it looks like it's not being nice, but the result is always proof in the pudding. If you smack somebody around the face with love and it's produced a good result for them and you, then you've done it with love. That's an action of love. If it's created something that's pulled them down or not served them in the best way, then you haven't used, love in the way you wanted to. So I'm getting a bit complex in it, because it's a very complex subject, this emotion, where most people are stuck in it. They don't know how to use the emotions to serve them. So we're going to have a look at that today on this journey. And so one of the most important things in Frido with emotion is actually separating the head, the brain, or the mind, however you want to call it, the mind or the brain from the body. So in Frido, emotions is made up of two things. It's made up of the body language and the brain or the mind language. That's how Frido sees an emotion. It's actually made up of two elements: mind language and body language. And in Frido, body language is sensations. That's the language of the body. Some people know that. People who work with the body a lot understand their sensations is the language of the body. And people who work with the mind a lot know that words or images or thoughts, let's say thoughts, could be words or images, are the language of the brain or the mind. So when you put them together, you have this emotion experience. So when I'm scared of something, let's say there's a lion in front of me, my thoughts are now thinking, holy, there's a lion, I'm scared. I need to get away, but I can't get away. I'm frozen because of all the memories in my past about lions, or I don't think I'm strong enough or fast enough. This is all going on in the mind. So I'm creating a story to match that emotion that I'm thinking about, fear. But when we go to the body's experience, the body's not saying those things. The body's just having sensations. Maybe there's contraction in the body somewhere. That's why we can't move. Our mind's thinking we're scared. That's why we can't move, because our body's contracting perhaps. So our body's having different, maybe there's some bubbling going on in our solar plexus because we're feeling a bit scared, a bit sick. And now our mind is saying, oh my God, you know, I'm going to be sick. And actually the body's not saying I'm going to be sick. The body's just saying bubble, 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 you know, around the solar plexus. It's just having a sensation. And it's amazing when we can separate the two. They're so entwined in our lives, it's really hard to separate them. And therefore we're not in control of them, because the mind has made up a story that's the truth for us, because it is true. The emotion right there and then is true. I can't move, I'm scared. The lion's going to attack me and I'm scared stiff, and my body, I'm going to be sick. I'm stiff and can't. That's the story we've created, but it's a real story. I mean, it's our reality. The question is, can we change that story? Can we suddenly start looking at those thoughts and changing them? Like, can we say, okay, my body's contracting, but maybe contraction is good. Maybe contraction in the body, I need to fight or run. It's no good if I've got no contraction in my muscles at all. I need them to be alert and kind of, working, nice and strongly. Or if I need to fight or jump up a tree, I need to have power in my muscles. They need to contract when I need them to. So suddenly I can start changing my experience of that emotion. And suddenly that emotion of fear suddenly doesn't become my enemy. I'm now using it. I'm thinking I can now change my story in my head. I can say something like, well, I don't want to be eaten by the lion. I've got children to look after. So suddenly my thoughts are changing around that emotion. And then my body, I'm thinking, yeah, my body needs to stiffen up right now and get the hell out of here. I need to be bang, or fight the lion or jump up the tree. So we can actually change our experience, just the same as a surfer on the sea. When he learns about the currents, he can change his experience rather than saying now, oh, I'm going to die. I'm going to be swallowed up by that current, or that's going to be the worst experience of my life if that comes towards me, that wave. No, now we're saying, bring it on. I want that wave because I want a big thrill. I'm going to shoot over. I need my body to be, nice and active and fast so it can shoot over there. So I want my muscles to ridge up a bit and get me going. So we can start to change the reality. I'll call it a story, but it's actually a reality of our emotion. We can change it. And the next time someone says, do you like fear? I say, mate, it's my best friend. Fear is my best friend. Why? Because I can use it. I can use fear in every part of my life. Anything, you can apply it to anything in your life. You can apply any emotion to anything. You can use it to cook nicely because you think, oh, I want to get this right. I don't want to get it wrong. I'm going to use fear to really focus my attention because I want to create a nice meal because I don't want it to go wrong. So I'm now using fear to actually motivate me rather than pull me back. I'm not using fear and it's saying, you're no good at cooking, Gary, you're rubbish. You're not going to be able to do it. No, I'm just saying, you know, I want to be focused here. It's going to make me focus. So it depends how we use them. It's very complex. And the language of the body, I've noticed, because I've grown up more in the mind than the body. I'm really quite good with my mind. Pretty good. I've been using it a long time, and I don't usually have any problems with my mind. I can work out solutions. That's why I do the life coaching. But with my body sensations, that's another story. You know, I was getting a bad back at one time. I was getting more headaches, you know, discomfort. I wasn't matching my body with my mind because I didn't realize the body had its own language, and I didn't realize the body was actually another person. It's like my mind is one person and my body is another person, and I was neglecting it. It's like, imagine two children growing up, and one child is just neglected all its life. It's going to grow up immature, inexperienced, and not have many abilities. So when we don't learn the language of our body, we're actually our body is going to become immature, inexperienced, and it won't have many abilities. Therefore, we'll get ill. You know, we won't have a body that we want. In other words, you know, it won't be the body, an energized, healthy body, because we haven't actually allowed our body to learn. You know, our mind, sometimes we've gone through the mind journey now, like we've gone to school, we've gone to university, and we've studied things, especially intellectual things, and our mind's very happy because our mind is now developed and it has a lot of abilities, but our bodies don't. So this is all about, the emotion is all about really recognizing both. The majority of people I seem to meet, mostly, I wouldn't say all, but mostly, they're more developed in their mind than their body language. So their language, they're quite skilled in their mind language, but not in their body language. And some people I meet are the opposite. They're much more skilled in their body language than their mind language. And they're both not very good to have one missing, because as people know, when one's missing, if the body language isn't up there with the mind language, we get more body problems. If our body language is up there, but our mind language isn't, we'll end up getting mental problems, mental stress, because we haven't got the ability up here. So this is all about, you know, developing the language of our mind and body together, and using emotion, the word emotion, to do this as well, because emotions are so powerful. If you had a toolbox of emotions and you could just pick an emotion up, the one you want at the time, how cool would that be? It'd probably be the best toolbox in the world. Say, hey, I want to feel love right now. I need love. Pop a love pill, and now I'm in love energy, emotion. Or I need to get the hell out of here. I need a bit of fear to help me do that. Or I need a bit of confidence. I'm not saying which one you should have, but you would have a toolbox to play around with. You know, you could use them in different ways. So this is the emotion. It's beautiful. What's a shame is most people, humans, especially in the West, I would probably say mostly, have labeled emotions. They've labeled them. They've all got a word. How many emotions are there? You could probably 20 or 30 at the most. If I said to you now, name all the emotions there are, most people would label about 10 or 15 or 20. There'd probably be 5 big ones: fear, love, anxiety, depression, sadness, you know, joy, happiness, you know, and maybe I'll get to 10, 20, 30 even. It's so limited because the emotion we've given it, the label we've given that emotion, what is the emotion? It's an energy at the end of the day that we've labeled. And that's why some people who have got depression don't heal themselves from depression. Those people who have got fear don't ever sort out fear because they've labeled it, and that label has made it into a very tiny box of what the emotion actually is. They've labeled it, it's given it a story. You know, in fact, if you take away the word emotion, because emotion is just feelings that we've given a name to. It's like, oh, that feeling, that's anger, that feeling's love, that feeling's happiness. And it's like, if we take away the label of emotion, we end up just with feelings, with no names, just feelings. Try and get that around your head. You know, what is that then? What feeling is that? What if I'm not giving it a label? What is it? But because we've given it labels over hundreds and thousands, whatever years, that's become our reality, and it's very hard to detach from. But imagine being free with the emotions. They just come through us, and in fact, we can just use them. And yes, we can give them a label, but a label that we decide. We can make that emotion do what we want to do with it. So somebody might be over there and they won't use fear. They might use love or confidence or depression. I might use depression to go off in a cave and just go into myself. Another person might not use that. They might use happiness, you know, to make them feel happy. So it's not about this is right, or this is this, or this is this. It's about you having each of us having the ability to decide what that emotion actually is and how we can use it in our life. You might use a different emotion than me to do the same job, so they can start to be more pliable. So I know there's a lot of talk in there because it's such a complex subject, but we're going to go through the journey and we'll see what happens. So you can close your eyes if you want, because I'll just read the first bit. Emotion, stability. Stability is the key word for this card, for this symbol of emotion, stability. When we have stability, we're stable. No emotion can knock us off or pull us back. We're stable. We can allow things just to be. It's like, so this card reading, it says, we have traveled far. Distractions have taken us off of our path many times, but we have learnt and grown through every experience as we continue to deepen into our journey. So maybe choose a word today that you can just kind of link to. So write yourself or think of a word that you want to journey with for today's training. So you've got something you can measure against with this emotional journey. And the word you're choosing, it's like, yeah, it's not necessarily a new word. It could be an old journey. It could be, you might know this word very well in your life. And you've gone through different experiences, you know, connected to that word. So you've come a long way to get to where you are now. And that's the picture in the card. It looks like an old person, Frido. It's not that he's kind of old, yeah, because he's got a lot of experience. He's gone through a lot. So the image of the older person is just showing that he's got a lot of experiences he's gone through on his or her journey. So the same with you with your word. Look around and see all the sights. You can feel the energy, both good and bad. Many emotional distractions are here and now as you continue along your path. They're always going to be here. Emotions aren't going to go away ever. It's like saying energy is going to go away. You know, the universe is going to go away. It's always here. So learn to use it, learn to use those energies. And that's what we're doing here. We're learning to use the emotional energy. So many emotional distractions are here. So if an emotion is distracting us, then all that means is there's nothing wrong with the emotion. We just don't know how to use it. That's all. That's all it is. If something's bothering us emotionally, it means we just don't know how to use it. So, you know, I don't cry about it if I'm feeling emotional or I'm feeling, I don't like this emotion. It's not serving me at the moment. I don't feel bad about it. I just think there's something I need to learn about it. I need to learn more about it because I don't know how to use it. The affirmation for this symbol called emotion is I allow all feelings to simply pass through me with ease. I allow all feelings to simply pass through me with ease. How beautiful would that be? If just all our feelings can just pass through and we can feel them. Our body can still feel them. It doesn't mean we're going to become like a zombie, like, oh, I can't feel love anymore. I can't feel something. No, we'll feel them more, in fact, because we're opening our body cells, allowing them to go through every single body cell, and every body cell can experience that love or that fear or that anger. It's actually more powerful. You'll feel it even more, but our body's not stopping it. It's just coming all the way through. What happens is when our body stops it, it's because it's having a resistance with that feeling. Maybe our mind is having a resistance because you've got a story around that feeling. Or maybe the body's not used to it, so it might just resist. You know, there might be a resistance in the body somewhere. Maybe it's had a bad experience in the past, the body, a similar feeling, and it automatically ridges up, you know, as it feels it. So we're kind of practicing that. But if we can allow all the feelings just to go through us simply, it's like, for me, that's just a beautiful feeling. I can experience love, like 100%. Love, joy, happiness, fear. I wouldn't be scared of fear because it's going through me. I can just experience it. It's not making me do anything. It's not making me think I hate this. In fact, this is beautiful energy. Or anger. Anger is only a problem if we don't know how to use it again. And we react to the anger feeling, and we suddenly punch someone or scream at someone. It's like, I don't like that, so I didn't want to do it. That's because we've reacted to the feeling. We reacted. We're not in control anymore. We're reacting to it. It's like, bomb. It's like, no, I'll feel it. I could respond to it. I could use it and respond. I wouldn't say respond to it even. I'd say I will use it and I'll do something with it. I might just let it go through to the ground. So yeah, I allow all feelings to simply pass through me with ease. The guidance on this card is be careful not to stray off your path and keep your focus on the road ahead. But remember why you are here and now and how you will feel when your journey is complete. So this is just, you know, when we're feeling low or overwhelmed with emotion, it's like, just keep focused on the road ahead. Keep on walking the path. If you keep on walking, things that don't need to come with you, sometimes we're stuck on things. We're stuck with things. They're not stuck with us. If we continue along our path, sometimes we notice those things that we were stuck on stay there. They don't come with us. Often we get stuck somewhere in life on our emotion because it's not that they're holding us even, but we're not moving forward. We think we're stuck. And if we move forward, sometimes those emotions stay where they are, or those experiences. So we can just leave them there where they are in our past energy. Allow your feelings to be free to move through your body or stay where they are. So who cares? If we're free in our body with our emotion, we don't care. It can stay there as long as it wants. We've got no issue with it. I can be dancing around with a load of fear in my body. Why not? I can have the energy of fear in my body and do a dance. The only reason I wouldn't be able to do it is if I let the fear control me and let it do whatever it decides to do. It's like having a little puppy dog and saying, go on, do whatever you want. It's like it's going to maybe go a bit, maybe it do things nice, maybe it do things crazy. But we're not saying that to our puppy. We're saying, that's okay, you can be a puppy, but you know, do it this way. That's all we're saying. Be a puppy, but do it this way. Maybe you can feel your emotions in different body parts. Let them be. Simply observe them. Allow your body sensations to experience their energy, their character. Notice how they feel. So when I say sensations, I keep on bringing up again. I know Kirsty knows a lot about that word. I'm not sure about some of the other, maybe you do as well, the other guys. But sensations is so important to, when people express how they're feeling to me, I now notice that they're not actually telling me how their body's feeling. They're telling me what they're thinking their body's feeling. They'll say, oh, I feel really shit. No, that's not your body. That's your mind, their thoughts. Your body doesn't feel shit. Your body's doing something else, maybe, or even happy. You know, we might think, oh, my body, I'm feeling really happy. So how are you feeling? Oh, my body's feeling happy. No, your thoughts are happy. You think your body's happy, but your body's not really happy. It's something else. It's having its own sensations that we're deciding in our head. That's what that means. Oh, you're happy, body. I'm telling you how you're feeling. We're constantly doing it from our head. We're telling our body how it's feeling by giving it words and thoughts that our mind understands. That our body simply has sensations. And this is a hard thing for our head to get over, to get around. It's a different language. It's a completely different language. Completely different. In fact, I would even say that the head will never understand the body language, and the body language will never really understand the head language. It's like me saying, I'm going to understand a tree. I'll never really, I can think I understand a tree. I can get to know a tree more. I can have more empathy with the tree, and I can feel like I know it more. Absolutely. But I'm never going to know it 100%. And I'm never going to know it as well as the tree knows itself. So the body, I'm going to never know the body from my head. The body can only know itself. So what I need to do is in this symbol is I'm learning to understand the body language. Imagine the body, imagine a baby has grown up for 20 years and it's never been taught to speak a language like English. So it's 20 years old or 30 years old or 50 years old, and it still can't really speak well. Maybe it can speak a bit. And that's how I see a lot of our bodies. Our bodies have grown up for 30 years and it's never learned how to speak. Even in its own language, it's learned a little bit, but our mind's constantly saying, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm not even allowing you to learn your own language. Because that's what people do to us, our parents, you know, school, they're constantly training us, our body to shut up and not actually talk. So it's not really matured. Often I see a 40-year-old whose body is very immature. That's why they're immature sometimes sexually. I'll get somebody come for a massage and, oh, don't touch my boobies, or don't touch my bum, or don't touch this, or don't do that. And I think it sounds like a child, like their body's like a little scared child. It's like it's not very mature or experienced in many ways. So it's quite interesting observations. And I know with my own body, it's quite immature. I wish I'd learned body language, you know, since I was born, as much as my mind language, because my body would be super fucking intelligent now. It'd be amazing. I wouldn't be scared of fear. My body wouldn't be at all. I would be having a totally different experience of life right now. And if I could get my mind and body to be as clever as each other, I mean, that's incredible, amazing. So sensations, I'm going to keep on going on about it. It's like an alien language. If you think of it like an alien language, and you're trying to understand it a bit, because you need to try and understand it. You know, your body needs to understand your mind language a little bit, and vice versa, so they can work together. You know, if you can try to understand each other like people, you can then try and work together. You'll never understand that person 100%, but you can at least try and work together. You know, for something like in partnerships, you know, you might meet someone you're really compatible with, but you're still not the same as each other. So it's like, let's see if we can try and understand each other and communicate together and work together. So sensations is amazing. So, okay, so I'm going to test somebody now. Nina, give me, let me see, what's your word?
Anger.
Anger. So try and separate the emotion of anger by telling me what the words are. So explain me what is anger from your brain, first of all. Just a sentence.
For me, anger is like it's kind of like when there's an emotion that I can't control, and I feel like scream. You know. Yeah. So yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So again, that was from your head. I feel like screaming. So now I want you to tell me what your body is saying about anger. What is your body experiencing about anger?
It's like my body normally, I kind of like, if there's something in my hand, like I'll be pressing it so hard.
Okay.
like
what-
yeah,
So what's your hand? What are your muscles doing in your hand? What's your hand and muscles doing?
pressing.
Yeah, exactly. They're just doing that, aren't they? They're pressing together or contracting or whatever you want to call it. That's the body language. That's how it's speaking. It's just doing that. It's not saying, oh, I want to hit somebody or I want to scream. All it's saying is that. That's all it's saying. I want to squeeze together, which is very different to what your head's saying about anger. So that's amazing. It's a totally different experience. Okay, so let's go to someone else. What about Michael? What's your word? Thanks, Nina. Michael's gone to sleep.
No, I just had a problem finding the unmute button. My word was compassion.
So give me some words to explain the feeling of compassion.
Understanding, sadness, relationship.
So if you were to explain to a child what compassion is, that's what you would say to the child.
Well, I would say is imagine yourself in another person.
Right, okay, that's beautiful. What's your body saying? What's compassion to your body?
Well, compassion in a usually you connect compassion with somebody who's suffering, perhaps. You never really relate compassion to somebody who's there is a negative connotation to it, and most often compassion expresses itself within my body through tears.
Okay, so you'll have tears.
Yeah.
Yeah, so compassion to your body would be tears. That's how it would show me your body's feeling compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Lovely. Okay, how about TT?
My word is impatience.
So so what does that feel like from the headspace, from the brain?
Lots of different thoughts going on with regards to new ideas and stuff like that. So like a clouding of thoughts and ideas. And very frustrating in my mind. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. Perfect. And what about your body? How's that experiencing? Is it patience, did you say? Impatience?
Patience.
Impatience, yeah.
In my body, it's more of a like a tightness and like a tenseness. It feels like constriction, really.
Yeah, that's nice. And have you noticed so far, we've all had a lot more to say from our head than when we're explaining it from our body. Like Michael's just got tears. He gave me a very big, comment about what that meant to him, his word. And then compassion for the body is tears. How simple is that? It's like, whoa. And yours as well, Tiffany. It's just constrict. You've got a big story about impatience, big thing, but actually your body's just contracting. It's like, that's all it's doing. So it's kind of a different kind of language happening. And the body's got to say in a way much less than our mind's got to say about it. And of course, it's got a different meaning, hasn't it? Because contraction doesn't mean you're impatient. That's the hilarious thing about it. It's like, you're thinking impatient and actually your body's just contracting. It's not even feeling impatient. It's just kind of doing that. But anyway, that's lovely. How about Kirsty?
My word is welcoming.
So from your brain, your thoughts, what does that mean? Welcoming.
Welcoming from my brain is like welcoming. It's like you allow everything you allow all the emotion, you allow whatever's happening, you just allow it, basically. It's welcome. Like, yeah, whatever. Okay.
That's nice. Yeah, beautiful. And from your body, what's your body saying about welcoming? What's its experience?
My body experience of welcoming, it feels like all around the joints, they start to soften. You get like tingling sensations. It's like all the energy can flow, and I think the key is that the softening around all the joints, it just relaxes. So it's like the body is soft, but it's alive. So it allows any energy to flow through, and I feel the bliss of anything, because my body feels open, welcoming, it's open, it's soft, and it's kind of like, it's kind of tingly. And this feels like the key point. I'll say it again, and why it feels like something around the joint relaxes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And you notice Kirsty had quite a lot more to say about the body language, because she's a body worker. That's probably her. I'll make a judgment, but I think it's more her comfort zone is speaking from her body to her body. Maybe Kirsty, I don't know. That's what I would assume.
Yeah, I feel like I normally, if someone asks me a question, I feel my body and I respond from there. But I guess it's more since I did the 3-day stuff. I like to explain things as well. I like this. I'm a scientist. I'm a bachelor of science. I like words as well, but somehow finding how they unite is my passion, I guess.
Yeah, that's really cool. And that's amazing. So that's a really good observation. That's one of my passions, is to how does my body sensations relate to my thoughts, my mind? How can I get them to relate together? And the really crazy thing about that is I had an experience. I'll give you a living example. Some years ago, I was practicing this concept. So I went outside. It was the winter time, and it was really freezing cold. And I went out in just a vest top and shorts. So it was really cold, and I wasn't keen on the cold. You know, it was really cold. It was painful and uncomfortable. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna test out to see if I can change my feelings about the cold weather. And the first thing was, my mind and was just, oh, I hate this. It's uncomfortable. This is awful. And then I decided to try and separate, do this language thing. What's my mind saying and what's my body saying? So I let my mind go first because it was stronger. You know, it's like my body didn't know what to say. So my mind comes up with this great big thing about how I hate the cold. And it reminds me of when I was young in the snow or whatever, blah, 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 blah. So I had a huge storybook about the cold, that feeling. And then I went to my body and I thought, what's my body got to say about it? And first of all, my mind took over and it says, oh, it's really painful. It's painful. And I suddenly caught myself doing that. And I thought, no, that's not what the body's saying. My mind's butting in again. And then suddenly it took me a while actually to detach, because I really thought that was what my body was feeling, uncomfortable and pain. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, they're my thoughts, not my sensations. And as soon as I started to separate, I said, right, mind, just mind your own business. And I focused on the sensation of the body. It was just like a tingling on my body, on the skin where it was cold, you know, where the cold was affecting my skin. And it was just like goosebumps and tingly. And I was quite shocked. I thought, that's so weird. How can this massive experience that I had, my reality of the cold weather all my life, only be tingling on my skin? It's just so weird that I've got such a big issue about the cold weather and it's just tingling on my skin. It's like ridiculous. It's like a big wake-up call. And then I got to the point, and my mind did try and butt in a few times. I suddenly felt the pain again. And I suddenly thought, oh no, it's painful. I thought, no, it's not. It's just tingling. That's my mind again. So as I started getting used to separating the thoughts and the sensations, they really just became the sensations. They weren't painful anymore. They were literally the sensation of like some sensation on my skin. And it was neither cold or hot or nothing. It was like, I would say it was neutral. The body was just kind of vibrating in some way. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. I've just changed my reality of the cold. And then I thought to myself, well, how is it that my reality before was horrible? It was a negative reality of the cold weather. And I thought, well, if that's possible, can I actually create a new reality of the cold weather for myself? I thought, if I've done it before, I can do it. I can recreate my reality of it. Because I thought, I don't just want to be neutral, because that's a bit boring. It's like not very exciting, you know, just feeling a vibration on the skin. For my mind anyway, it's not very exciting. So I then thought to myself, okay, I'll just change my thoughts now, connected to now this feeling of the cold on my skin, this new feeling. And I started saying, well, yeah, it's refreshing, it's invigorating, it's cleansing. So I started to attach different story to it. And the amazing thing is, and then it started to feel really good. It started to feel refreshing, although it was still just the tingling on my body. Now I was getting my mind to now create a new reality for it. And then after that experience, my experience of the cold changed big time. I mean, it didn't change 100% straight away. It changed quite dramatically straight away. I wasn't having the heating on anymore in the winter, and I was noticing it. I was kind of observing. And then I moved on to my boat, and, you know, it was freezing in the winter here, freezing. And I wouldn't have the fire on. I used to have the fire on till 1 o'clock in the morning. And then the following year, I didn't have the fire on. And then, like, now I just sleep naked in the cold with no fire. I used to have hot water bottles in the bed with me. Gradually, I just came away from it. And my experience has totally changed. And I really enjoy it. I quite enjoy the cold weather. So we can really change our reality if we can see the language of our body sensations connected to our thoughts that we might label an emotion. So when we're using a word, like you're all using a word today, I'm going to challenge you all. Don't, like, sometimes I say to somebody, how does that word feel? Like they might come up with a word like money. And I say, well, it doesn't feel anything, it's money. I said, well, try and get your head out of that idea that only an emotion has to be an emotion that we've all labeled, anger, love, whatever. Just imagine every single thing is an emotion. It's got an energy, because it is, isn't it? When you touch money, you have a feeling. When you think of money, maybe a feeling gets stimulated. Maybe it's not a strong feeling that you can label, like one of the typical emotions that we label, but we want to get out of this labeling of emotion. We want to try and think any feeling is kind of an emotion. It works in the same way with our thoughts and our body sensations. So when you think about your word now, notice how it feels, what it means to you from your mind and your body sensations separately. So when you kind of look at your word and you try to explain it to somebody, if I say, what is that word? What does it feel like? I want you to kind of feel it from the body and explain that. And I want you to explain it from the mind, understand it from the mind and feel it in the body, 2 separate languages. So for example, Natalia, what's your word today?
Passion.
Passion. So
Yeah.
I know you're not totally feeling it, you know, because it's not happening right now in your life, but you've got to kind of guess. So just give a small sentence of explanation from your mind about passion. What does that mean for you?
Actually, it happens a lot, all the time. It's not something new, but I just decided to choose something positive because I feel like I have done a lot of negative things quite well, but
So passion.
and it's nice to do something nice, something more pleasant.
So give me a sentence to explain passion.
Okay, so passion is like a goal, purpose, joy, and everything all together. The meaning, it's the most important thing. It diminishes anything else. It's just it's a focus. It's something you cannot, like, you don't want to waste time on any small details around it. You just want to get right in there, and that's all you want to do. and anything else it becomes that is not related to it might become a distraction or an inspiration, but it's all the entire focus is right there.
Okay, that's great. So you've got a lot to say about passion from your mind. And what about your body? What's your body? How would it explain passion from its own point of view? It's in its own language.
I feel it as if it is lifting it up. It is lifting it up and relaxing it, and it is building up in the heart. It is making the heart really huge. And
so just stop. I'll just stop you there. Yeah. Is it actually making the heart huge?
Yes.
Like your heart's growing, is it?
Yeah. It's like you're just growing continuously. It doesn't stop. It's just like and
are you sure? I'm going to challenge you on that, because if it did that, it would explode out your body. You would be no longer, your heart would explode out your body. So what you said was a bit mindy. My heart's growing. Is it really growing bigger and bigger physically?
No, your response is mindy. I didn't judge it. I just told you how it feels.
Yeah, so I'm challenging you because your body language, the heart isn't actually growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay, no, it might feel like it's radiating stronger and stronger and stronger.
So radiating, when you say stronger, what do you mean? That's a mind word. What's the body doing for you to say it's stronger?
More overwhelming. It is more overwhelming.
Overwhelming is a mind word again. What's the body do? If you were to look at the body, look at the heart, what would it actually be doing? What would the muscles and the nerves and the blood, what would it all be doing if you were to look at it?
It would be doing exactly the same thing as it was doing without it.
Oh, very interesting. Okay.
From the perspective, but it's just a different quality to it. It's like it's the loudest thing in the room.
Does your body feel different? The sensations in your body when you're in passion?
Yes.
So it can't be doing the same thing. The body must be doing something different for you to feel something different in the body on some physical level, because you wouldn't feel different.
Okay.
The body wouldn't feel different, would it?
Yes, but it feels very different.
Okay, so what I'm challenging you, because I know you're very developed in your mind.
Yeah.
And perhaps your spirit or whatever, but you're this part. But it's like this is where it's a bit alien, the language. I know it sounds challenging. It's like, I don't know what you mean. It's like, I can't get it because it's talking a different language. Kirsty gets it. She knows that. She's really good at this body language thing. But I'm not teasing you, but I'm just trying to kind of try and look at what the body's actually doing. Is it vibrating? Is the muscles relaxing? Are they kind of more alert? Is the blood flowing faster? Is the temperature of the blood warming or cooling? It's like, it's a new language. It's like, I wonder what it's doing in passion. And you might not know. It's okay. You might not know yet. It's to look at this language and say, I'm not really sure.
Well, the body is definitely more alert.
Okay, so it's vibrating maybe faster or more open.
Maybe.
Okay, I'm going to leave you. I won't go on about. There's something to think about. It's really opening up this new language. It's like, oh my God, my body's got this language. What the heck is it? So that's really, really cool. Thanks, Natalia, for that. Magic. Michael.
May I say something? Because I heard a couple of really interesting things from Natalia, and she said nothing changes. And so is it possible that actually nothing changes? That our bodies are always projecting inwards and outwards the same way, but we're simply perceiving it in a different way. And when you talked about your cold experience, I want to talk about a sweat lodge that I did. And so within the sweat lodge, all of a sudden, my mind said, let me turn this into coldness. And I was actually in the sweat lodge freezing, which means that there is an infinite possibility at any given time and I am responsible for how I'm going to, like, there's almost what I'm trying to say, there is nothingness all the time. And it's the same, it's the capacity within us is always the same. It is just how we interpret our current experience or the current moment in a surrounding field.
I would say that's a very, I would use the word that's very advanced. That's a very advanced language from the mind and the body, where they just know. It's like having two soulmates together. They don't need to speak. They can feel, they can be in love, and they don't even need to have, you know, craziness going on. They can just feel it. It's, I think that's on a very a high vibration, let's say, or a very light vibration. But if we bring it down to a more, I don't like to use the word advanced because I don't really believe it is, but it feels more advanced, that we can change our perception of a body sensation and thoughts and everything in our reality by changing our perception. I would agree with you, Michael. If our body can change its perception the same way our mind can, then we're free to do whatever we want. So your body could experience bliss without actually moving, without anything happening in your body, sure, because it knows how to do that. It understands bliss to such a level, it doesn't need to do anything to try and say this is bliss or that's bliss. And you're quite right. And it's the same. Yeah, I'm not going to go on about that too much because it's complex, but yes, you can do. So Natalia could, yes, I could agree with that. If she's experiencing passion and she can feel that, and that's her reality, not just in her mind, but also in her body. Yeah, the body doesn't need to be doing anything different, but you can still feel a different feeling in the body. It feels passion. It doesn't feel death. It doesn't feel upset. It definitely feels passion, but it doesn't mean the body's got to do anything else to let it feel the same passion. So that's quite interesting as well. So a good point, Michael. So coming back to your word, Michael, what about, oh, you used your word, did you already, Mike? I think we did it, didn't we?
I did. It was compassion.
That's right. Okay, I'm going to move on because we done you already, Michael, haven't we? I think. Yeah, I think we did. All right, Nadine, what about you? What's your word?
My word is understanding.
So a quick explanation from the mind.
I would say it puts it like in categories or in experiences, like kind of sorts it into, yeah, categories.
Yeah, like a library kind of thing.
Yeah.
And what about your body? What's your body saying about?
Yeah, I was really thinking about, it's not so easy, but I think it would be kind of neutral, like what you said with your cold experience. I think it would be just the muscles would be relaxed and very, I don't know if calm is if calm is a sensation, yeah, but I think the muscles would be quite relaxed and the blood would be very still, and yeah, I would say neutral.
Yeah, well, it's not neutral, is it? You just explained it. It's far from neutral. You said it's relaxed and the blood's still. I mean, that's not enough. That's not kind of enough. That's something. That's not so much neutral. You might call it neutral, but it's doing something still. It's calm. It's relaxed. It's flowing. So it's still doing something. In fact, just an observation there. That's nice. How about Nina?
Yes, Gary, my word was anger, which I went through.
Oh, sorry, we've been through you. I'm trying to catch people we haven't asked yet. I can't remember now. I've lost the plot. Who haven't we asked yet? Who Tiffany is that? No, we asked Tiffany. Magic?
Yes, so my word is acceptance.
So what's acceptance from the mind? How would you explain that in mind language?
Being in in peace, open-minded, understanding, in truth, in ease, nothing less.
Okay, and the body language, how does the body explain it?
So it's like stillness, motionless.
So hang on a minute, the body's not moving. Nothing's moving, not one muscle, not one nerve.
Yeah, I will say it's very calm and like yeah, hard to explain. Relaxed, yes, and maybe even breathtaking. Like feel, yeah, it's not a state of mind, but it's like the body is in this bliss moment.
It's in a state of body.
Yes. So yeah, it's basically stillness, not really moving much. It's just like it's very connected with the mind, I must say, but in the same time, it's like without any much of sensation, you know.
Okay, that's
Just like,
perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. A subtle sensation, maybe
yes,
very,
yes,
very subtle,
yeah.
almost So, for example, Magic, imagine you're in a situation where you want to tune into acceptance in that moment. Maybe you're having an argument or someone's, annoying you, or maybe you're upset with yourself and you want to tune into acceptance. And it's like your mind's trying to do it. But what if your body isn't in the state of what you just explained? If your body's tight, uncomfortable, in pain, hot, it might be difficult then to match your mind trying to accept with your body. So they in a way, they might be talking two different languages. And that's why it's sometimes hard. It's like, oh, I'm trying to accept them, but I can't. Because maybe it's about getting the body to also be in that same state. So imagine if your body could be in the state of acceptance and your mind's in the state of acceptance, then you could be in the state of acceptance. Just have a think about that for a moment. It's like, so often in our life, we want to be in a certain state. Like, so let's say I'm anxious and I don't want to be anxious. I want to be calm. So I've got to get my mind to think what calm is. And I've got to get my body to feel that same calmness. But I'll only be able to feel calm in my body if my body understands its own language, how to feel calm, what that means, relaxing my muscles, my blood flowing nicely through my body, my temperature of my body staying stable. If it knows its own language, it can then speak its language. So if it wants to be calm, it can just be calm. It can do all those things because it knows how to speak. So suddenly your body's now calm and your thoughts are calm, you're calm.
Mm-hmm.
So this is very powerful. Have a think about that as well, guys, because that's really interesting. How you can actually put yourself into states, your body state and your mind state, that becomes your reality state. Happy, body knows how to be happy, and the mind knows how to be happy. I would say with Michael's interpretation, the body can do nothing, yes, but I would say that's a higher level of language. It's like learn the basic, this is the basic language we're learning first. And then as we get really good at the language, it's easy. We don't need to say or do too much. So the body doesn't need to say those things anymore to be calm. It doesn't need to calm its temperature down, because it understands for itself what it wants to feel, how it wants to be in that moment. If it wants to be fiery, it can be fiery. But if it wants to be calm, then it can be calm. Like Michael said, as we get more advanced with language, it becomes easier. We almost don't need language eventually. Our body doesn't need to say anything anymore, and our mind doesn't, because it would just happen. That's very advanced way of thinking, but everything would just happen. You'll just feel happy because you want to feel happy in that moment. You don't have to think about it. You know, your body and mind will just feel happy, however you want it to feel. One person's happiness might be their body's all floppy. Another person's body will be all up and dancing. It's irrelevant. You know, it's they've created their own happiness. And that's what Frido's about, isn't it? It's about creating your own version of anything you want to create. So we've gone very abstract in this journey a little bit for some people not, but there's a lot to learn. So what we then do is, I'm just conscious because we spent a lot of time on that. We're almost at the end of our 2 hours, so I'm a little bit conscious. But I think it was important spending a lot of time on that explaining and explanations and stuff. So I'm not going to go through the next part of the journey. I think you guys can. I'll send you the journey you can do on video, you know, on free play. Some of you do free play anyway on the website, but I'll send a link direct so you can actually do the journey on yourself, because that's the next part which I would have gone through. And again, it's a further exploration of what we've just been discussing and doing and practicing is exactly the same. It's just a way to do that on paper. So you can separate your mind thoughts and your body sensations. And then if you want to, you can practice the ritual. Again, I can send you the separate link on the group if you just want to do the ritual. It's a really nice one. We did it last night and we did it yesterday, just for a little bit of practicing. And it's spinning. It's breath work and it's also spinning. So without going into too much detail, the spinning, I've had some really amazing experiences just from doing this spinning ritual. And I'm getting my body cells to feel like they're spinning now. And it's really, really cool. It feels really good. It's not vibrating. They're actually spinning in circles. And it's amazing because it's like in Aikido and martial arts and maybe yoga as well, and lots of others, I'm sure, you're always trying to get your center. You're trying to feel you're centered. You know, you've got your center. In martial arts, we have a point we call center, or one point. And we're always trying to connect to that point. Why? Because we want to become the center of everything, the center of our body, of our emotions. It's like becoming the center of our tornado. Imagine your whole life of emotions and everything is a tornado. And if you're not in the center, you're going to be chaos. You're going to be crazy caught up in the tornado. But as soon as you find your center, you're the center of all that chaos and you control it, right? It's like a kite, you know, you're controlling the kites. Kind of thing anyway. So this is all about stability and center, and the spinning is really connecting to the center, because when you feel that you can spin different parts of your body, if you think about it, if you're spinning, you know, you'll fall over if you get out of balance. So you're practicing becoming more stable through the spinning. The more we spin, the more practice we get stable in the spin. So we become the center of the spin. And that teaches our body and body cells to be center of what's happening, our emotions, our sensations, everything that's happening in the body spinning around. We suddenly have been practicing the spinning ritual within our body, so we can handle it. We can immediately go be the center of that, what's happening in our body and the sensations and feelings. And that's beautiful. And then we do the breath work that goes with it, which is the, it's very simple. It's just breathing. It's just breathing like naturally, because the body, you know, when we're faced with some emotion, we don't want to lose our calm breath, our normal breathing. We want to be able to be calm in the storm. Whatever's going on, we just want to be normal. Like if you were just normally sitting watching telly, you'd breathe normally, wouldn't you? You know, if life's just calm and comfortable, you just breathe normal. It's like very comfortable. But often our breathing doesn't become calm when we're faced with an emotion. It starts to change our breath. So we're practicing that ritual to stay calm within the storm with our breathing as well. That keeps our body comfortable, whatever's going on, so it can handle what's going on and not react to what's happening inside it. So I'll send you those two links anyway, and you can actually practice those. They're really nice. Like I said, I do the Frido rituals mostly every day before I go to bed, or if I get up in the morning, because there's so many rituals, shaking, stretching, spinning, breath work, all kinds, you know, just silent or resting. So this is very beautiful. So we're going to end there because I'm conscious of time, and whoever needs to go immediately can raise their hand. Natalia, so if you want to just do your final sharing as short or whatever as you want, and you can either stay and go whenever you want, or you can go. Okay, that's how we play roll.
Well, thank you. I don't really have a sharing, to be honest. I shared everything I wanted to. But thank you so much for today, and for all of you being here. And Gary, thank you so much for all the knowledge. I'll see you soon.
Cool. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Nice little shower of love. If anybody wants to do their thing, who else wants to go? Tiffany, TT.
I need to go. I always have another meeting straight afterwards. Yeah, just thanks very much for today. I've done loads of note taking, which was nice, as you were talking. So it's great. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you all soon.
Lovely, pleasure. Good luck with the O2.
Thank you. Bye.
Wembley, this time next week, Wembley.
Oh, baby. Soon enough. See you soon.
See you soon. Okay, who wants to go next? Kirsty?
I'm not muted. Yeah, thanks. It was nice, relaxing this session. It was very nice. I wrote some good notes as well. So I'm going to explore it a little bit more. I'll do the ritual. I've got another meeting as well, so I'm going to go and make some food before then.
Cool. Thank you, Kirsty.
Thank you. Nice to see you all.
Anyone else want to go next? Okay, so anyone can go next. Nina?
Yeah, and today I would like to say this journey was kind of, yeah, there was lots of explanation on it, and I think it was not an easy one, because when you were asking about the body feeling and our mind feeling, it's kind of like, it's a bit hard, because I feel like when you ask, like I said, like mine was anger, and then you say like what my mind was doing and what my body was doing. So then I said like my mind was like I want to scream, but then my body was like my hands, like I was like pressing. But sometimes it's difficult to know like is that a body sign or a mind one, because like I think it's kind of like I think that's why some of us got confused, because we don't know, because sometimes when we say that our mind is thinking like that, so it's the same like if I say my mind was to scream, so I could have just screamed with my mouth. And so I think I felt a bit confused, or maybe I need to learn a little bit more about the body language and the mind language. And that's why I wanted to stay last and see what everyone is saying. Because you learn more the more you listen to everyone. So yeah, I think I got stuck a little bit there, where you said about the body and the mind, because I was then when everyone was talking and I was saying like you were saying like the mind is like this, but the body is like different sensation and all. So yeah, I think I got stuck there, and I need to understand it just a bit more. And I like the part where you said, like, I can use fear in every part in my life. I use fear to motivate me. So I think we can do this with all of our emotions, like whatever emotions we are feeling, like we can use it, and we can use it to motivate us as well. And again, like when you say like our mind is one person and our body is one, so I think it is kind of like you said, emotion is complex, because again, like sometimes like you don't know if it's your mind or it's your body reaction. So yeah, I think today one was a bit complicated, and I think I have to go on the link and do a little bit more and maybe watch the YouTube when you put it, because there was lots to take. And I think, yeah, that's it.
Beautiful. Well, it was beautifully, it was complex. I said at the beginning, this is, for me, it's one of the most complex journeys for a lot of people. Not for Kirsty. I know her really well, so I know her language. That's why she expressed it really well through the body. You know, she really tunes in. Her struggles are more with the mind, you know, like the other way around. So when you did that with your hand, you're quite right. Was that my mind or my body? Of course, your body was doing it, but was it a reaction? Was it controlling my hand to go like that? It's like my mind saying, oh, this is what you got to do. So I didn't catch that at the time, but now I've caught it. So you're right, the body wouldn't necessarily do that. It might do, but it might not. It might just stay there. Maybe the muscles will contract, maybe they won't. That's the thing. It's trying to separate the two. And they're so entwined because we've never known anything different. So it's like trying to figure, it's a really good observation, Nina. It's confused. Is that my mind or my body? I'm not sure, because we've never really allowed our body to do what it wants to actually do. It might be that your body doesn't do anything. It might even be relaxing while you're getting all angry, you know, and then you control the body and you scream. The body doesn't necessarily want to scream. You know, maybe your mind does. But anyway, that's a good observation, Nina, and a big one. What you'll find is different journeys bring different challenges for different people. Some is easy. Some people will just think that's easy. Now, to give you an idea, Kirsty, I'm mentioning her.
Yes.
She's not here, but when she did the mind journey, which is later on, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. It really, we did it at a retreat, and she'll tell you, I don't want to say anything, but it was hilarious. But I'm mentioning it because, you know, it's such an opposite. For her, this is very natural. You heard her say it. She really enjoyed the journey. It was relaxing, even though there was a lot going on, because it was she was using her body more to tune in and stuff. And it was really what she enjoyed, connecting the mind with the body. But the logical ones are like, oh no, I don't want to go out of my body into the head. So yeah, you'll find that different people respond, but that's good for you. This means you really need to do this one big time, because this is going to be a great thing for you. So when you're annoyed with your children or something like this, you will not be affected by it in a negative way. You'll change everything around, because you're probably affected in the past a lot with your emotions and then your thoughts as well, and then blah, blah. So once you get a hang of this, you'll really feel different. You know, you'll look at something you didn't like and you still might not like it from your head, but you won't feel like that in your body. You'll feel comfortable. You can still say, I don't like that. You know, that reminds me of something, but your body won't feel it'll feel good. Because there's nothing wrong with saying that. There's nothing wrong with saying it, but you don't want to feel it in your body. That's the difference. So separation. Anyway, that's nice, Nina. Well done.
Thank you, Gary.
Anyone else? Magic?
So yeah, it was very interesting, and actually it was quite good subjects also, because I'm in my previous learning I was actually very into emotions also. So to see this from the different perspective was for me quite new, and as I said, interesting. And I used the word acceptance not only because of me, but because of how I can help others to find the acceptance also. Because when I do the body work with someone, as you said, people have this kind of dislike how when you are touching them, and I can feel it. Where are the places where they are feeling comfortable, where not? And what I learned that by relaxing the body, you can relax the mind. And the emotions actually, from my knowledge now, they are actually stored in our body. Most of them, they are stored in our deep in our cells. So addressing this from a different perspective was for me very interesting and also fun doing this journey today with you guys, because I can see now I can address future clients differently also, not only with the body, but also from the mind perspective. So I could maybe tune into that more easily somehow, because when I do the massage, we are creating this third body, which is like connection between me and this person, and creating this communication, and it's about emotions actually. So, and for me, I was exploring to create this third body with the acceptance feeling, that they can feel that they are welcome, that they feel comfortable, and maybe using this technique, which you are now explained, will give me some more intel so I can explore this more.
Nice. And what I'd say to that is, don't try to find only one language of the emotion. This is two languages. So have a think, just think about, be conscious of that. There's two languages. So the person you're massaging is also speaking in two languages. They're thinking and they're having the sensations. And whether they connect together or not, it doesn't matter. They're two separate things happening. Sometimes they work together and sometimes they don't. Their body might be very relaxed, but their thoughts are going crazy, you know, very uncomfortable maybe, or their thoughts are relaxed and their body's ridging up, you know. So yeah, just allow the two languages to show themselves. And when people say the emotions get stored in our body cells, yeah, and they also get stored in our brain cells. So they get stored in both, I would say equal. You know, it's only because it's a new thing for people. It's like, oh, emotions get stored in our body cells. Well, yeah, of course they do. You know, program gets stored in our body cells, but remember, not the words. The words are still coming from that brain.
Yes,
whether it's the brain, whether it's the brain in our body cell or the brain in our head, is coming from a brain symbol using words to explain and to express itself, to communicate what it's experiencing and what it's feeling. But then there's the sensations. So again, they're both in there. Imagine you've got a brain and the body sensations in each body cell, and they've both got their two little languages. So it's like, try and speak to both of them, and make sure you give them both the same space to speak. Like when you're giving a massage or you're talking or whatever, try and make sure you're doing the same talking here and the same talking from the sensations as well. Make sure that your body sensations are being given enough time to actually process, so you can hear them. Not that you will understand them from the brain. You don't need to. Your body needs to understand them. If I didn't talk to anyone or think, I wouldn't understand anything. So by me thinking, I'm actually teaching myself. So just allow the body sensations to talk. And the best person to talk to somebody's body sensations, so when you're giving your massage, who's the best person who can actually help that person's body? Is it your mind or is it your body?
My body.
Yeah. So let your body sensations do the talking. So when you're touching them, allow your own sensations, observe your sensations, and that's it. You're now talking, your body's now talking. And when I do a lot of body work. I did a 2-hour one today. And what I've learned to do is I let my body do the talking, the sensations. I don't interfere. I don't start thinking, oh, they've got a problem there or they're tight there. My body knows way better than my brain how to touch another body, exactly how to touch it. And my brain is for thinking, of course, my brain is for interpreting, you know, what's happening, and also talking to the other brain. You know, if you want to talk to your client's brain, talk with your brain. And if you want to talk to their body, talk with your body. So it's a beautiful conversation happening, you know, with your mind and body and their mind and body, sensations and thoughts, and their sensations and thoughts working together.
Thank you.
Very nice. And thank you. And Michael.
Very philosophical, and we could dive deeper into that, because there is also the brain of the heart, which is about 60 times stronger than the brain in our head. And so, which one comes first? And does the body come first, or does the mind come first? And is there actually a separation to it? Because if I have experiences of true connection, whether that is just having a connection to a plant, or to a flower, or to a tree, or having that moment of connection to an animal, or stepping into a vortex, and where there is no intention behind it, where there is no thought behind it, where there is no agenda behind it, where does that come from? And then on the contrary, our bodies express themselves, because you were talking about this early on. If you watch people and walking around through the city, and you simply watch their hands as to whether when they're dangling, or when they're hanging down, how tight their fist actually is, whether they're walking around with a fist, whether they're open, or whether they're fully open, or whether they're a little tight, that will tell you about the level of fear that people hold within them. And it's almost like the body's defense mechanism being ready to punch somebody in its worst scenario. But which came first? Did that from the body come first, or did the mind create that response in the body? Which is an interesting subject, and we can probably talk about it until the rest of our lives. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Nice. Yeah, I've got a Frido viewpoint, of course, on that. So Frido would look at it as like, the first thing that came up was like, we're all trying to find the answer, the answer to something. We're always trying to find the one answer to a solution. And we're then trying to get everyone to agree on it. And it's like in Frido, it's like, well, you can do that, but you don't have to. And I think the problem is because around us, there's certain symbols, there's certain things that have been the same for years and hundreds of years. They become all our realities. So therefore, it's our reality. And it's hard for anyone to argue. And then you've got different viewpoints coming up, like the heart, you know, because physiologically it's got more, you know, neurons on it and stuff like this. Suddenly we're creating a new symbol of the brain. And that could be, nothing wrong with that, it's perfect. That could be the new symbol of the brain. For many people, yeah, that could become the new brain. I think for more heartfelt people and spiritual people, they're very much keen on that symbol as being the brain, because that's more where they're coming from. That's what they understand more. Somebody who's an academic won't agree with that, you know, a scientist or something like this, because that's, you know, their symbol of the brain is the most powerful for a brain. But I think it's all semantics. It's all arguing over what's right, what's wrong. And I think Frido's about make your own mind up, make your own decision, what your reality is. If you get to a point where you can actually, you can just, you know, in your reality, your heart is your brain. That's beautiful. for someone else, it might be their toe. You know, I might just make my toe my brain. And it's like, that's my brain. And it's like, it sounds crazy, but you know, it's like abstracts and crazy, but that's Frido. It's like, that's where we want to, it makes more sense for the heart. We have to make sense of things. That's the thing. We've got to try and make sense of something so it makes sense. And we want everyone to agree on it as well, because that makes more sense to us. Rather than just saying, you know what, Frido would say everything is everything. So our heart is our brain, our heart is our arse, our heart is our big toe. You know, it's all made up of the same bloody atoms. So from a logical point of view, I'd just say it's all made up of the same atoms, but of course it's been created as a symbol to do that job. So we created the brain and the heart and to do a certain job. That doesn't mean we can't create any symbol to do anything for us. And I think that's where the power is. I had a big problem. I was very rebellious because I'm very alternative in my thinking. I always want to look at the opposite of what people are doing. And you know, my challenge was I was creating new ideas that were not as mature as all these old existing ideas. So therefore I couldn't prove it to people. So I had to just keep on going. But what I learned is I can also use those existing symbols like the brain, the heart, anger. I can use the existing symbols because they've already got a lot of power, but I will upgrade them to how I want to use them. So I'll kind of tweak them, let's say. So I'll use the power that they were developed to do. I don't have to. If I was like God, I would scrap all the old symbols. I'll just create my new universe. But it's quite useful to use the ones that are existing, like gravity, for example. I wouldn't want to jump out the sky off a mountain thinking I've got a new idea of gravity. You know, I can fly. Chances are I probably won't. Or my bones won't break when they hit the floor because my symbol is rubber or something like this. So I think it's a combination for me of using existing symbols that make sense already. But the key, well, or making brand new symbols and ideas. But I think the key for me is just knowing that they belong to us. Whatever you're dealing with, whether you're saying, you know, the heart is this and it's that, and scientists have said it and da-da-da-da, that's your viewpoint. Absolutely perfect. That's where the power is. You don't need to convince anyone else. If that's what it means to you, it belongs to you. It doesn't even belong to the scientists anymore because, you know, they're your thoughts. They're your meaning. They're your interpretation. You've read the same book as everyone else. The same scientist wrote for everyone else, but everyone interprets it differently anyway. So I've always said this with Frido, it belongs to you. So everything that you think, it actually belongs to you anyway. That's the key. If you're using an existing symbol, an existing idea that the shamans or the monks have been teaching people, take it. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a powerful symbol, but know that it belongs to you and know that you can change it, how you can tweak it. You can say, you know what, that bit, get rid of it. I don't agree on that bit of that religion, or actually I'm going to add something else in here and tweak it, make it your own. And that I think is very powerful. You're using the power of the existing idea, concept, symbol, but you're actually recognizing it is yours, it belongs to you. And now you're going to tweak it or start from scratch and create a brand new idea, brand new concept, but you're growing it from nothing. So it's going to take time and energy to make it a new symbol that everyone then will start to recognize as well in your universe. So yeah, they're both beautiful, using different existing symbols and brand new symbols for yourself. And that would be my viewpoint. And if you said which came first, the chicken or the egg, it's like, well, who cares? I mean, I would say it doesn't matter really. One came first, one came second in your world. They both came first in my world. And that's the answer. It's like whatever is real for you, and you can make your reality and not get stuck on someone else's reality unless you want to. Yeah, this is my sharing anyway, my Frido viewpoint.
Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Any other questions or around this subject, you know, the emotions. We'll try and keep to the subject.
Nadine didn't talk yet.
Nadine, so sorry. Oh, you know what? Thanks, Nina. I'm gonna be walloped for that later, big time, because you know she's become a different person since she's met you guys. She's become like this new violent person.
Yeah, because I'm now aggressive and will beat you later.
She doesn't take any shit from me anymore. I'm upset. I'm actually distraught. It's like she doesn't take not one piece of shit from me anymore.
No, I don't even have too much to say, because as Mina said, I found it also, it was like a very complex and complex card. It's definitely the emotion card, and it made a bit like, it messed my head a bit up. It's I wrote many things down, and I think, yeah, I need to get a bit organized in my head, because I was thinking, what is it then when I have like pain, for example, in my throat? Then it's just my mind like making up these things because of past experiences. I think, oh my God, I get another tonsillitis when I got a sore throat, and so it's like, maybe my body, yeah, it's just a sensation, it's just an itchy throat, and it's not more. But then my mind makes up these stories, and so I think I really need to connect more to my body. That's what I learned. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I understand how complicated this one is. It's major, because we haven't been brought up. If we were brought up in the jungle, we'd probably be having the problem with our mind and not our body language. As we know, you know, intuition is body, isn't it? They sense. If you're brought up in the jungle, they sense things, and that tells them things. They might not even be able to explain half the stuff they know. They just know it, you know, so that their body knows it already, because their body's the one that's gone through training and learning. So Nadine, I understand that, you know, it's so, like, you struggled. What you said was like, I struggled, you know, trying to think about it. Exactly. I mean, that's a perfect example of this session. We're so stuck in the head. So when we start thinking about this emotion stuff and body sensations as a language, it can mind fuck us up. And the ones who are really messed up in the head over this one, it's just showing you, like with Natalia, interestingly enough, she was like really, she's got an amazing mind, like really intelligent. I'm not going to say anymore. I'll talk to her about it, but you know, I challenged her on the sensation part of it, and I know what that feels like. We're so used to being up here, we've just got no connection to what's happening in our body. And often we'll notice it if we're having body accidents or illnesses or whatever in the body's breaking down in some way. We're missing, we're too much up here, and we're not down here enough. We're not allowing that part of the body to actually speak. So with Nadine, when you're getting like an itchy throat, the first thing you're doing is you're thinking of the tonsillitis. And now that's making you, you know, it's not making you, but in fact, you're forcing your body to tighten up more. And then you said it's itchy, but it's not even itchy for the body. That's your mind again. Your mind saying it's itchy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you took your head away, I bet your body wouldn't be going, oh, like this.
And that's what I thought. Then last night with the headache, I just didn't make up these stories. Maybe it's not even that bad. So
I would agree. And that's why some people have different pain thresholds and things. Someone said, oh, I can take a lot more pain or stress than that, because they've learnt, you know, they're receiving it differently. They've learned how to experience that differently. Like someone I know, a little bit of pain or a little bit of stress, they freak out. They're really stressed out. And I can deal with loads of it, mostly because I've gone through a lot of stress, and I've learned how to my body's learnt how to be okay with it, and my mind's learned how to handle it, you know, in the brain way. So now I'm in kind of control of that situation. But yeah, so it's a big challenge. When I get a headache occasionally, It's a big challenge. I'm also stuck. I'm still sometimes stuck. My thoughts and my sensations, honestly. And why is it when and then I do a meditation and I manage to just let my thoughts go over there and my sensations to be left alone from my thoughts, and suddenly I heal. I had a headache not that long ago, and I did 5 minutes. I thought it's going to be an all-day headache or something, or a few hours, and I just went in and I managed to separate my thoughts and my sensations, and within 10 or 15 minutes, and I fell to sleep for 10 minutes, and I woke up and it had completely gone, which is unusual. In the past, that would have definitely lingered on for longer, but I've experienced that power of separating those thoughts and body sensations. When we truly separate them, it's really blissful. It's really, it's amazing for the mind as well, because your mind is still saying the same things, but it's quite happy. It's not a problem. You might be saying, I hate you, you know, you are horrible, you're treating me really badly. But when we're not attaching the thoughts to the body sensations, they're just thoughts. They've got no emotion attached to them. It's like a robot. It's like, oh, I really don't like, and you probably wouldn't even say that anymore. You wouldn't say, I hate you, because actually you probably wouldn't say that. You'd probably say, I don't like what you're doing, because your thoughts would be a lot clearer, because they're not being affected also by this whole story, you know, between your emotions, your stories, your past. I think also what happens is the body, when the body feels something, your mind instantly goes into that story of what it thinks it is, you know, associated with. So when you take the body away, your mind can also think more clearly, and it's not affected by the body sensations now, because they're interlinked. They're affecting each other all the time. So suddenly, I don't hate you anymore. It's just that I don't like what you're doing. And you suddenly become logical. It's like amazing. You can have a communication without the sensations bothering your thoughts. How many times do we say this wrong thing? It's not true. What we're saying is not actually true, and it's not the right things what we're saying. It's just that we've been affected by our sensations. So they kind of work together. They kind of interfere with each other, influence each other. So by separating them, we can actually get them to work together. First of all, to separate them, to make them aware that they're not actually, you know, they're separate, but then we can start to get them to work together in a much more healthy way, in a way that they're both happy. The body's happy and the brain. Get them to work together. The past years, they're not working as well together. If we've got parts of our life that's not working together, that's because our brain and body, well, partly, our brain and body is not working well together. And, you know, if I was to go on to spirit as well, I'd include soul in that equation. Our soul, our mind, our body is not working together well. It's not working in harmony, mind, body, and spirit. But isn't it nice to be able to break these down and try and understand what these areas are, mind, body, spirit, because they're symbols, of course, but they're powerful symbols, how we can get them to work together. Because if you can get your mind, your body, and your spirit to actually work together really well, I think we'll be superhuman. And that's powerful. So we're now learning to get our body to work by itself. Our body should be able to work on its own, but we need to allow it to learn, and allow our brain to learn and learn from each other. It's like two children growing up. They're both learning for themselves, and they're both teaching each other at the same time. So that's like life. We're learning from our own experience, and we're also learning from everyone else's. So we're learning together, and this is get our mind, body, let them learn on their own, and also from each other, because they both want the same thing at the end of the day. Believe me, your mind doesn't want your body, you know, screwed up in bed all day, because that's no fun for the mind, and vice versa. Now the body doesn't want to kind of give you mental problems, because, you know, it can't be a body. It can't experience life as a body then. So they really want the same thing. Just get them to work together. And that's all. Blabbed on a bit. So that's it. So next week, we're going to be working still with the emotion family, but we're going to be working with the sister of the emotion family. Ooh, ouch. Let's I only said that because there's three men here in the group. I would never have said that if it was all females. I'm still going to get a bollocking later, probably. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got, here we go. So this is lovely. These are beautiful. So we've got the past and the future, brother and sister, son and daughter. So we're going to be working on the past. And it's all to do with the emotional family still. And we're going to be doing past regression. Well, we're going to be learning about it. This is a training. So again, we're not exactly going through the whole journey. But I would advise you to go onto the free play and go through the journey yourself. And it's a past regression journey. And it's about it's going back in our past and allowing our body and our mind to re-experience the past, things that have happened in the past, connected to the word we've chosen, whatever word we choose, and re-experiencing those thoughts. And because if we don't re-experience them, we won't learn. We will never change them. So the way to change the past is to reprocess the past, go backwards into the past, let it come back into our body and reprocess them and rethink about them, get our thoughts, separate the thoughts and the body, which we didn't do in the past. That's what gave us the problem at the time. But we're now going to go back and we're going to repair, we're going to transform what didn't happen then. So that's why most people don't change in their life. One of the reasons, because they're stuck on all the past stuff. We need to go back and reprocess it. Anyway, I'll stop there. So that's going to be exciting, going back and reprocessing the past. Very healing, very, very healing. So I'll love you and leave you all for tonight. Have a good one. Stay in touch. If you need me, just contact me, no problem. Do the journeys, practice the rituals. They're really cool. And that's all. So until next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Nadine. Bye, Magic.
See you
Bye,
guys. Have a
Carol.
beautiful evening.
Bye, Michael. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.